Hey guys, this is just going to be a quick video on the fundamentals, or like the mechanics of a 35mm film camera, so that if you're confused by any of the functions it may have, I'll clear it up for you right here. So here we have a Canon A1 and a Minolta SRT-101. The Canon A1 currently has film in it, so the first thing I'm going to show you is opening the back on the Minolta. And the way you do that usually is you just pop this thing up, you can open the back, that's where your film goes. I have a video explaining how to load and unload 35mm film in the description if you want to go check that out. And now we have the Canon A1 right here. This one has film in it, so I can't shoot any pictures, but I'll show you how to shoot a picture in just a moment. First, we're going to start off with this thing. This would be the thing that you pull up to open the back of your camera. And then when you're closing the back of the camera, you press this button, which releases the spool that's located right here. And then it'll let you lift this thing up and wind the film back. And you can see right there's an arrow that you're supposed to follow. So those two are used for loading and unloading the film right there. This thing here is a square that a lot of 35mm film cameras have. And what happens is you get a roll of film, it comes in a box, you can tear this little corner off, put it in there, so you remember what ISO of the film you're shooting. And now, on top of that, we have a little knob right here. There's a ton of numbers on it. This is where your shutter speed is going to be located on most cameras. Some cameras it's located on the lens, but most cameras it's going to be located here. And then the green numbers there is going to be where you set your ISO. That will affect what your light meter does in your 35mm camera. On top of that, we have the aperture settings. That's going to usually be on the lens here. So you can see you have an aperture or an f-stop of 1.8. That goes up to 16 on this camera, or on this lens specifically. And if you want to switch it to automatic, which is something you might do in the beginning, but once you start shooting more, you're not going to need to use that, then you can switch it to automatic and it'll automatically shoot the ISO needed for whatever chosen shutter speed. You also have your lens cap. That just protects the lens. If you're not shooting, you can leave that on so that your lens doesn't get dirty. And then you have focusing. So you can see it's listed in meters and feet. If you have a target that is over 30 feet away, you're going to want it on this infinity symbol and it'll stay focused. If you're doing a close-up portrait, you can go about 5 feet away or 1.5 meters, and that'll focus on your target that's about 5 feet away. Some cameras have a self-exposure thing. On the Canon A1, you just flip this knob up, and then when you go to shoot the picture, this red button will blink for about 10 seconds, and then you can walk in front of the shot and be in the exposure. On the Canon A1 specifically, you can lock your camera so that you can't shoot any pictures at all. This button won't go down even if the film is advanced. And then you have this little knob right here. That tells you how many exposures you've already taken on this specific roll of film. On other cameras, like the Nikon FE2, you can see that the film counter is right here, shutter speed again, but your ISO setting is going to be over here. And then the aperture is going to be different because you have 22 to 1.8, which is just a different lens for this camera. And then automatic is going to be for your shutter speed. So you choose an ISO and then it'll choose the shutter speed for you. Now we have the lever here. This is what advances your film. So let's say you have a roll in film there. You want to shoot a picture, you wind that up, you can take an exposure, and then to advance it again, you just wind this back. It'll let you take as many photos as you need. And, one last thing. Cameras has this thing called the shoe on top. It's called the hot shoe. You can put flashes in there and it'll help you take photos at night if there's not enough light to shoot a photo. And then you also have the viewfinder, which you can just look in the back and then you'll see what you're trying to shoot. So if I take this lens cover off, you can kind of see through it. You can see what's going to be in the photo. Like if I move this camera over here. Yep. And those are the basic functions of the 35mm camera. If you're confused about any of that, feel free to leave a comment asking any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow my Instagram also if you have questions. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.